Good morning, traders. It's 8:03 a.m. Chicago time on Monday, the 23rd of May, 2022. First thing, a quick mic check just to make sure. Again, I'm traveling, visiting family here in Canada, so this is not my standard setup. This is episode number 2238. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This morning, the Convergent Trading pre-market summary sheet is indicating that the market is mildly risk on. We see the market has climbed a little bit in the overnight session, evidenced by the fact that 100% of the inventory has traded above Friday's close across the board. Nasdaq, Russell, Dow, S&P. The market has not traded a single contract below settlement. Pretty strong this morning. Today's Canada Day, by the way, for those who celebrate it. So that's where we stand this morning. A German IFO came out strong this morning. Very nice surprise to the upside. 93 versus a forecast of 92.1. We had the Chicago Fed National Index, which is a low tier number at 0.47 versus 0.35. Things are looking up a little bit. Fed's Bostic scheduled for 12 p.m. Eastern. The S&P Global Manufacturing PMI in Australia scheduled for 7 p.m. and some numbers out of Japan at 8:30. So the calendar is quite. Oh, it's Victoria Day. I'm sorry. I've got my Canadian holidays mixed up as much as my sister tries to drill them into my head. Overall, a very light calendar. While we're at it, I want to take a moment to talk about the week ahead. The week ahead, again, we got these are the high tier numbers only now to prepare us for the rest of the week. We did get the IFO business climate out of Germany. Tomorrow at 3:30 a.m. Eastern, we get the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI flash for Germany at expected at 54.1. For Great Britain, expected at 55.2. The same number for UK services PMI is expected at 58.5. These are all high tier. New home sales tomorrow out of the US at 10 a.m. And on Wednesday, we get the GfK consumer confidence for Germany, expecting negative 25.2. Durable goods out of the US, and then the FOMC minutes on Wednesday, FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Thursday, we get GDP growth in the US, Q on Q for second estimate or Q1. That's at 8:30 a.m. That's going to be relatively important. And then the key number for the week is the personal spending and income for the U.S. on Friday at 8:30 Eastern. Those are the key plays for this week. Again, you can see the numbers in front of you. Crude is not letting off at all, so expect your gas price at the pump to continue to remain high. A lot of political pressure there. Gold remains in the 1850. I mean, that seems like just a super long-term balance for gold. It's just around the 1850 price. Silver has come off from $26 to $21 over the last few weeks, and we see that allocation into the notes is coming off. There's money flowing out of treasuries into equities. Bitcoin and Ether holding their own. Bitcoin holding at 30,000, ETH at 2,000, and that's what's on deck. Anyway, some dovish comments out of Bullard regarding a recession. Also, China's COVID situation is stabilizing. No new cases. No increased numbers, new cases, but the numbers remain the same. and ECB's indicating the end of QE. That's what's on deck. Looking at the S&P real quick. The S&P, let me just grab this. The S&P has traded 251,000 contracts so far. 100% of the inventory is above yesterday's Friday's settlement to 38.9950. You see it on the screen there. And the range is 45 and a quarter points, relatively just, it's exactly, the range is exactly 1 sigma over the 252 trading days in the past. The point of control 39.32 this morning, and we are basically back in balance here. On the profile, you can see that we are in a thicker area of this profile. Hang on, all the colors and everything are off because, again, this is my laptop, which I haven't used for months. So we're back into this kind of meaty balance area here. And the next key area, again, is 40.15. We've talked about the 40.15 quite a bit in the last week or so. So it's to me, Friday looks like a spike lower that was rejected. Friday seems to have left an excess low. The low to high on Friday on the close is almost 100 points. 100 points. It got to 38.0750, I believe, and it closed at 38.99. Almost 100 points vertical. To me, this looks like a total rejection of Friday's range below 38.55. Remember, 38.55 has been a very important price here. So we spiked through and we came back up. We saw rejection. You can see that the volume really dried up down there, and it's coming back. I can tell you one thing about the current environment. The current environment leaves shorts very vulnerable to positive news. So when we look at the overall condition, again, I keep going back to this TPO chart. You can see value right in here, right? This kind of important area here. And this morning we're trading at 39.38 right now. That's the current price on the scale there. We are at the upper end of Friday's range. And it looks to me like it is likely to end the one-time framing down. So it's really important here what it does this morning. Friday's highs 39.41, and 39.41 is likely to end our one-time framing down, which we've been in since last Tuesday. Here's the one-time framing down is established. Here's a lower high, lower high, lower high, but not by much. I think the prior day was like 53 or something like that. And this morning we're opening right in here, and we look like we're about to take out this prior high. So expect a pretty aggressive move to the upside this morning as the shorts get blown out. We had a balanced day on Thursday. We had a B-shaped profile on Friday, but this is not a true B-shaped profile because B-shaped profiles, the market opens, drives down, consolidates, and finishes down here, and this would be long liquidation. This profile, although B-shaped, you could see that it's like a B, like this, right? See the belly is in the low end. This actually closed up here. So it's the long liquidation occurred early in the session, but that was taken back. So it doesn't mean the same thing. To me, this is relatively bullish given the way it rejected prices below 38.55. That is the key thing to take away here. Looking at the relative delta, let's look at Friday. I should have loaded it before the broadcast started. But let's look at Friday. You can see Friday here. Friday, really from the open, this is the cash open on Friday. From the open, the delta went negative. It was slightly positive, went negative. Not much participation by this yellow dotted line is the 100 lots or greater on an MBO. The white came down pretty significantly and then continued to move lower as we broke to the downside. But overall, we finished pretty positive on Delta on Friday. There was quite a bit of lifting. The aggressors were on the buy side on this. As soon as we made that low at 38.07, it seemed like the lifting was quite aggressive. You can see some participation here by the very large lots, and they continue to step up into the close to come back and be positive on the session across small, large, and very large lot with the cumulative, the total cumulative delta being positive. To me, this is very likely to continue to squeeze higher. This morning, if you look at this morning's delta since the open last night on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, you can see it has remained above the zero line, although the small lots have dipped below, and the order flow continues to be strong coming into the open. So we keep dipping below zero, but overall, very large lots are positive 386 contracts there, and the cumulative deltas in the 4,000s got up above 4,500, which is relatively bullish here. So looking at the way this is postured this morning, I would say that it's very, very likely to squeeze higher on the open. Look at that profile, very balanced profile this morning, right there. Very balanced profile. We have the mid, VWAP, and the point of control right on top of each other as we continue to be inside at these prices. We continue to be inside of Friday's range, inside of Friday's range. But where are you? Uh, but uh, and in Friday's upper distribution, actually, if we look at this, we'll see that we're opening in Friday's upper distribution right here. So we're opening right on top of this. This is very likely to be a very balancy, choppy open, but I'm expecting a squeeze. Here's the thing. I want to repeat this again. Under current conditions, with many indicators showing oversold conditions, um, the market is very, very vulnerable to good news. POTUS this morning announced a potential easing of tariffs. This caused the yuan to take a pop higher. This, of course, reduces the price of goods, which is counterinflationary. It should be done. The tariffs are just they just throw a wrench in the economics of supply and demand. I don't believe tariffs make sense, but these kinds of this kind of news is very likely to blow out the shorts in this area. So if you are short on a swing basis, you might want to hedge with options or lighten up or whatever, is how I feel coming into this week. This week is likely to push back to balance at 40.15. I believe we're likely to see ourselves back at 40.15 in the next few days. We'll see if that's correct or not, but that's how things are shaping up. So with that being said, it's again, we're opening in a lot of noise here. We're opening in a lot of noise on top of Friday's upper distribution where we open on Friday. And it's likely to be pretty choppy from here. Any push down, I'm going to be very suspicious of, and I'm going to look at that. And full disclosure, I am not trading from where I am now on this family visit. I will not be trading. Shutting down as soon as I'm done with the trader bite. I'm not going to be taking any positions. But to me, any move down off the open is going. I would look at that as a potential for buying at better prices. I would be very suspicious of any pushes down. Of course, if we open and it's an open drive down and it's an impulse, then that changes things. I don't expect that this morning. Let's take a look at what's expected for today. Just setting up the chart. So in the overnight session, we went and took out the magnet. So on this chart, you will see a couple things worth noting. The key support, key resistance is right up there. Let me switch to yellow. Key resistance way up there. We hit key support on Friday to the tick. That stock zone there was already there at 3808. We hit that. That was the green line before. Move the green line down to the next stock zone down, as it's already been hit. Key support is right underneath this at 37.97 or so. And then we have the magnet right at 38.55. Remember, 38.55 is key. This was the prior, not last week, but the prior week's low and a double bottom. And what we did on Fridays, we came up to it from below and we came up to it in the overnight session just now. We came up to it and held. This is it's not the magnet, it is the over underline. Getting above here, any pullback is likely to set up a long for a push, and then I would use the current daily ranges, statistical ranges for targets. Look for about 60 points on those trades given the day range. So look for where it turned in the RTH session, and if there's enough here to get you 60 points, which would get us up to this key resistance up here, then you would want to hold on for that. Those are the big R factor trades. Those are the those are the wealth makers type of thing. The magnet, however, is beneath us. The magnet is somewhere around 39.10 or so. A pullback into the magnet and consolidation at the magnet brings us into balance. Excuse me, brings us into balance of Thursday. And if we get into balance of Thursday, we are likely to dip into the lower end of the range, and then the low volume node right here becomes the next key thing that's in play. That area is around 38.60 or so. So what are the key scenarios this morning? The most probable plays this morning are an open auction in range, choppy, pullback. I would look at this as a pullback to get better pricing, and then look for the impulse higher. Look for it to smack its head against the overnight high, break through the overnight high, pull back. This sets up a long, and then now we're looking for a long to push into the 4,000 area and then settle in here. Most likely, this will be the most likely scenario. We're looking for a pressure relief to the upside as the key scenario. Secondary scenario, open auction that squeezes early into the over underline, consolidates here. And if we get an impulse down, and it's a big if we get an impulse down, then we're likely back at the open, and we are likely to test the magnet and hold steady. In either case, I expect a higher high, higher low, and the beginning of a short-term bounce in this product. Okay, so those are the two key scenarios to play with. Again, I want to emphasize that we are opening on a balance profile on top of the overnight point of control, the most traded price of the session, on top of the full session mid, full session VWAP. You have to be cautious coming into today. I want to remind you, I'll be back in Chicago tomorrow evening, but I want to remind you about this event that's taking place on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll be hosting a couple of guys from Order Flow Labs, and the topic will be trading the indices using order flow. So we'll be you know, just discussing with this panel how they use order flow information to trade the indices, the S&P, and P, and so on. That's on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Futures Radio Show and Anthony Cordelli, sponsored by EdgeClear. There will be a prize drawing for 3 6-month Edge Pro X subscriptions, free subscriptions, including the rhythmic data feed for 6 months. So pay the access fee, which is $20 a month. So that's $35 per month for the Edge Pro X platform, plus $20 for the full MBO feed from Rhythmic. That'll be covered for 6 months for 3 winners, and then Order Flow Labs is throwing in 2 months, 2 subscriptions for 2 months on top of that. You need to go to edgeclear.com/deli to register to win the raffle, to win the giveaway, and then attend at 12 p.m. Eastern to watch the show and also to have us spin the wheel to pick the winners for those prizes. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Take care.